touch your dick a little bit.
A puss.
Can I
A
see
pussy.
the
I mean
The great. They want to see
Kinda
the
dick is
dick.
that?
And who wants to see the dick?
You know, when
We
trying
make
to-
out.
So it just depends on.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Rosie.
Manny.
And today we have someone who came to play. Her name is Lola Hope. Say hello, Lola Hope.
Hola, it's Lola.
So we're already a few drinks in and stuff.
Yeah.
So we're kind of crazy right now.
Yeah, that's an understatement right now.
And giggly and all that good stuff.
So it's gonna be a lot of laughing in this episode.
A lot of laughter.
It's fine.
Today we're gonna be speaking about can women and men be friends
Can men
in
and
general
women,
or at the workplace, or in general?
in general?
Okay. So in general, so who wants to start it off?
I don't think they can.
All right, episode over.
Why?
I feel like between a man and a woman, there's always some kind of attraction. I mean, that's how it was meant to be, right? So if you have two good-looking people come together, there's going to be some thoughts.
Assuming they're both good looking.
Well, even if they're not good-looking, just if you look decent and the other person look decent and you guys like each other, like you get along, I think at some point in time, there's going to be that idea that pops in your head. Say, I fuck her. And she'll be like, I fuck him. And then you start the flirting. And then you start the,
But they're friends. So
yeah, you friends, but there's that possibility that it could be more than that. So I never think men
So-
and women could be friends.
For me, it depends. It depends on the situation. Like, there's no reason why a man and woman can't be friends if it's not on the table of like, okay, we're not gonna fuck. Like, this is not a sexual attraction.
I just feel like right off the bat, it always pops in one person's head, like I fuck her, and then there's a little bit of
Sounds like
flirting.
jealousy.
Wait, what?
It just sounds like jealousy. Like,
How does it sound like jealousy?
because if you feel that, oh, that person looks better than me or comparable, then there's no way that person could be friends with my husband, because then that might
I wasn't
give him an
even-
idea.
I wasn't even thinking about it from as an outsider looking at two people. I was thinking myself and another person, and just how two people of the opposite sex interact. For some reason, I just think it's always gonna be, well, I think my dick can go inside of her, and
Oh my god.
then she'll be like, I fuck him.
Yo, your mind? I don't even know.
So I mean, what do you say, Lola?
I agree that you can be friends if there's boundaries.
Okay.
What are those boundaries to you?
Don't touch my titties.
Right.
Don't look at my ass.
Well,
You can't.
You
You can't
can't
stop a
help-
man
yeah,
from looking
from
at
looking.
ass.
but you know, it has to be, you know, there's
But
no,
that's, you see what y'all just said? You can't stop a man from looking at ass.
well, looking.
Why you looking? Because
But
what you thinking?
But it's your
as
body.
women, we look too.
It's like saying, don't look
What
at
do
my
I look
arm.
like? His package? Sometimes you can't even see what the fuck is going on in that
Well,
pants.
then
What if
That's
he
why
had
you
like
don't
big
look
abs?
again.
What if he had like six pack?
I mean, that don't excite me
yeah,
really.
that doesn't
so.
excite me. Either.
I mean, but it doesn't excite you girls. But maybe some girls out there do get excited by pecs and by muscular physique.
I mean, obviously that's a sign of a guy being sexy or whatever. So you're intrigued. You look at it and you're like, ooh. But I look at it and be like, okay, yeah. Not for me. Pass.
So what if he had a fat wallet?
Then it'll match my purse. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I just feel like you're looking at her ass. You're thinking something. that there's some kind you find that person attractive. You don't walk down the street looking at no busted person's ass like, oh yeah. You don't take note of that. You know the type of people you stop and look at. You check and see, does she got ass? Okay, she's fuckable.
Not all the time.
How many times?
It's if someone just you're walking down the
Tread
street.
lightly.
If you're walking down the street, if you're walking down the street, and a person just suddenly bends down in front of you.
But that doesn't happen.
I'm looking.
That's not what it is,
Yeah, like
though.
it's not something like you're
But,
looking like,
okay,
oh, I
so
want to
you're
fuck
looking-
her.
Well, I hope you're not doing that.
Like,
Because that would be so intense.
I told you to
But-
tread lightly.
So, Lola, you said that you're looking. But are you looking for the shock factor, or you're looking because you're like, oh, okay, what's that?
I guess it depends.
Okay.
depends on a female or male.
Either or.
Mm.
Because I'll be like, did you just bend down in front of me?
But that's your
Well,
first
goddamn.
thought. That's your first thought. If a chick bent down in front of you,
In front of
in
you.
front
front
of
of
you,
you.
I meant like a guy. What are you thinking?
If a guy bends over in front of me,
He's not thinking.
I'm not thinking, oh, I'm gonna fuck, but I'm still gonna look like, what the fuck
Like,
is going
hello?
on here?
You couldn't express
Especially
yourself?
most guys
But I
will
feel
start
like-
showing crack and everything.
But I
because it's
feel
just plumber's
like
crack.
your mind is at a different state. So if a guy bends over in front of you, you're like, yo, wait a minute.
I mean,
Yo,
you're
bro, what you
assuming-
doing?
you're
Let me move
assuming-
away. But if a girl does, you'd be like, okay, let me get a little closer. See
No,
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 my
no,
goodness.
no,
if I
no,
can
no,
wiggle
no,
my
no,
thing.
No, because the last thing you want, if you do that to a guy, you might get into a fight. If you do that to a girl, you might end up in jail. So either way, you don't want to do that, because if
But
the
the
woman turns
first
around
thing,
like, oh,
the first thing that you do, if you see somebody bend over, if you as a guy, a female bends over in front of you, the first thing that pops into your head is what? And you can
wait,
be
is it
honest.
male or female?
A female.
If a female,
You as a male, a female bends down in front of you.
Okay.
What's the first thing you do and think of?
wait, do or think? Which one's
Okay,
first?
See how we
Do or think?
It's a lot
You
of
We
asked
don't
two
want
questions.
you to do. We don't want you
What's
to do
the
anything.
first thing
Just
that happens?
What's going to pop in your head?
I'm gonna stop walking. Like initially, if she bends down right in front of me, I'm gonna stop because one, I don't want to hit. I don't want my body to press up against hers. I don't want her to think, I'm somehow trying to get a cop a feel.
Okay, no, I'm
That's a good
saying
answer.
And I may
that's
look,
like a
I may-
decent answer, right?
so
But I
may
mean,
look at what she's doing. What is she bending down for? She's bending
What's
down
the
because
first thing
she
you do
wants someone to
as
look
a
at her.
reaction, the first thing you do, okay, maybe not bending down, because then that seems like a lot of chain reaction.
Maybe she's
stuff.
picking up her
So
purse or something.
let's
like
say a
that.
chick is just walking across the street with a decent
I
ass,
feel like I'm being targeted.
with
here.
an ass. What do you do?
He's looking.
I'm looking.
Right.
Okay,
And what you looking for?
I'm just looking.
Now you're not just looking. You don't do
I'm
it.
looking.
And just from observation,
You can't ask me the question and then impose an answer.
I can, because look, this is why. There's a difference between the looks. Okay.
There's a difference between looking and gawking.
Well, I
My-
would say he don't gawk.
Okay.
He does look and do this weird thing. Like sometimes it'll be a song playing in his head that
Oh,
he's
my
singing to
Lord
and bopping
Jesus.
to.
and then he'll pause. And then he'll sing again.
No. Like when he's looking, it's like I'm not looking. I'm just singing this song, and then my head's turning this way to the beat. And that's his definition of like I wasn't looking at anything. A chick would walk
Now-
past. Hold on, because I think I gotta talk about this.
I mean,
Hold on.
Oh, man.
A chick would walk past, and she looks decent, right? She looks good. For some reason, he'll always see these chicks, right? And I always know because I see it like right off the bat, and I'm like, he gonna look, and then he looks, and I'm just like, I'm always like, don't make people feel so special and entitled. Like if somebody's passing in their car, they're playing music, don't look over. Don't give them that feeling like, yeah, I did that. I make them feel special. No, fuck that. Just ignore their ass and just pretend like you don't hear their music. Don't give them that satisfaction. That's always me. So when I see a chick walk by, I already peep her walking by. And I'm just like, you don't have to make her feel that great. Like, oh, he looking at me. He with his girl. He looking at me. Just like if you look, just try to be like, a a little, what's the word?
Discreet.
Yes, a little discreet. But I always know.
I don't think okay, let me stop
Hold
you
on,
there.
I'm not
Let me
done.
stop you
I'm
there.
not
Wait,
done.
hold
I'm
on.
not
Because
done.
you've been talking for like
Conscious.
15 minutes.
always know. I always know when he's gonna look. He don't do it when it's
Because
like a bum bitch.
you know what I like.
You don't do it when it's, well, sometimes it's not even what I think you would like. It's just somebody who looks attractive and they have a fat ass, or what
But
would
it
be
caught
an
your
ass.
attention.
It's not that it caught my attention because
She's
I'm
mad
looking
because it
for it.
confirms. Oh, see, I was right. He's looking at it. Because I knew he was going to look at it.
There's just a difference between what he will look
There
at
be
and what he
times
won't.
where I'm just.
Hold on. I'm not done.
Oh, Lord.
And then let's say a bum bitch walk by,
Oh my God.
a bum bitch.
a bum bitch, and she don't look that attractive.
So a woman who doesn't have
but she
any
could be
features,
wearing but she could be wearing something real crazy. He won't look at that. That won't catch his attention. Now, how come you don't look at the chick that's looking kind of crazy?
So it's a
wearing,
problem if I look at
like,
chicks. And it's a problem if I don't
ghost
look
makeup.
at all the chicks.
Ghost? No, because my point is,
What is
and
your
I
point?
feel like this proves my point.
No, it
I was
doesn't.
like, you only look at the ones who you always talking about. I didn't look.
Nah,
I wasn't
wait,
looking at that.
Wait.
But it's always the same type of chicks. But you won't do the same when it's like regular, person looking crazy, but they're not sexual or showing
So
their
there's been
ass or
times-
boobs or
okay,
whatever.
So there's been several times where we've gotten into several arguments and fights. Why? Because you will swear up and down that I have looked at a female. Now, I have no memory, recollection, or even intention of looking at that female, but you will sit there and swear up and down because you saw her and you already know that I was going to look at it, or it's quote unquote my type. That you was.
It's not that I already assume you're going to look. I see you look, and you do that thing like you pretend to be discreet, and you bop your head and pretend like you're listening to this, playing this song in your head and rapping along
Okay,
to the
but
song.
what does any of this have to do with being friends?
Yes. So I was going to come back to it. I just felt like I needed to get that
Yeah,
one
that
out.
was a very long rant.
But my point was, when you look at a female and you see her and she's attractive, what's the first thing you're thinking? My
It's
assumption
not-
is
it's
that
not
the first
thinking
thing
anything.
that a guy thinks is like, I would fuck her. She's fuckable. Ooh.
That's see, a lot of females have this thing about when men look at stuff. It's always with some kind of intention. Sometimes it's
So
just
what the fuck you looking at?
it's just sometimes the action of looking.
Why?
Why
It's-
not?
You're supposed to be driving and
If
looking
you see-
straight, but somehow you see the girl that's walking across the street on your far left hand side.
But what if you had a stop sign or a light?
But you're
Thank
supposed
you.
to be looking straight. But
You
you
are looking
always
straight,
get
but
to
you gotta
see.
walk past the car.
You always get to see this person just walking.
Again, you sound very jealous.
I don't see why it's jealous.
It is because you're saying
I'm just
that
observing what you're doing.
The guy should always walk around with horse blinders. Like he cannot look at any female. Although if the action of looking at another female means that he has an intention to fuck her, it doesn't mean that.
You should see what his eyes do when I turn around and see him looking.
That's the fear.
the
That's
eyes,
the fear.
like,
That's the fear.
The eye be throwing up gang signs, like.
That's the fear. Like, oh shit, I fucked up. I did it again. She's gonna
Okay.
get mad at me. Oh
Okay.
shit.
Let me go to
So it's
sleep. Oh my goodness.
Listen,
So,
my point.
okay,
the
so-
point I was trying to make was
Right.
that, why I feel that it's difficult to see men as women as just friends in my eyes is because when I think about a guy looking at a female, when you see a female crossing the street, she looks good, she has a fat ass or tits or whatever, summertime, hot girl summer, she's showing a little bit of extra something. There's something that, I don't know, sparks in your head, or there's some kind of a observation that you made, like, damn, she look good, I would fuck her. And I think that that's that kind of idea that most men are walking around with, and that's what you're thinking, because all men are like dogs, right? Something's always
I think that's.
Something
I think
is
that's
always
what the essence.
right.
I think
Don't
that's what
answer
the
that.
essence is.
something's always piquing interest. Like dogs, they're always going around smelling some shit. Like, oh, what's that smell? Oh, what's that? Oh, squirrel. And
Girl.
and that's how you jump from like point to point to different things and seeing different things or whatever. And not to say that every time you would act on it more than just looking, but I feel for that quick second, you're like, oh, that's an attraction. That's attractive. If that other person, female, give you that attention back, y'all flirting, y'all having a good time, you like each other, as in like you get along, there's that possibility that it may turn into more than just we're simply friends.
All right, you're like 20 minutes into this.
Yeah. Well, I just had to get that out.
Is it out?
Yes, I think.
You in trouble when I leave. Sorry.
So, the stereotype that men have in general, it's one that doesn't matter what we do, it doesn't matter what we say. That stereotype, it always dictates what the outcome is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I look at a female in front of me, it does not mean that I have any intention of doing anything. It does not mean that. What it means that is simply that I looked at her. Now, whether I thought in my head, oh, she looked good, she looked bad, she looked nasty, she looked that's in my head. But see, even if I turn around and say the honest truth of like, well, she's a 3, she's a 2, she's a 1, she's a 9, she's a 10, you don't want to hear that. The moment I looked at her, I'm already guilty. I already think that she's a 10. That's stereotypical. Now, in my head, I can just simply say, I could look at her, I'm like, all right, she got a little fatty, but at the same time, it looked dusty. Her parents look nasty. She probably this and that and the third. I could be thinking all this in my head, but I'm guilty because 1, the stereotype, and 2, because I looked. So that's how I'm going to respond to that. Now, going back to the whole friendship thing. If you look at another person, regardless if they're man, if they're male, woman, for example, my best friend, if he bends down and I look at his ass and he shows plumber's crack, does that make me sexually attracted to him? It does not. It just means that I just looked at his ass and saw some crack.
But the look is going to be different.
Thank you.
What? I think there's always going to be an attraction. Not that
explain to
you're
me that
going to
look.
say like.
What does that look like?
I don't know.
I just
you
feel
are the experts.
I just feel
Far
like
from the
is it a
expert.
twinkle in the eyes?
Yes, if you look at his plumber's crack,
Does he
you're
bite his
like,
lip
oh
like,
shit, let me like not look at that right there. Man, pull up your pants. There's a difference. There's like an ew. And even when you see
assume
a chick,
that. Because what if
it's
I'm,
like
what if I'm gay?
observations. It's what you see.
What if I'm in the closet or something?
Well, we're talking
And in
about
my head,
you
I'm
as
like,
you. We're talking about you as you. But even if you're in your head, you were like, you can see that. I don't know if you really notice that sometimes what we're thinking shows
Body
on our
language, yeah.
face.
Okay,
And, you know, how a person reacts to something when they're saying something and they're lying. You can see it. It's pouring through based on your actions and the way you look and your facial expressions and all that. So there's a difference in how you look when you look.
When you look, why you look.
Looking, how you look, when you look, where you look, what you look. Yes. Yes.
You in trouble.
I mean, I ain't doing nothing. I'm good.
He's just looking. Always looking. But yeah, I don't think.
So it's just basically okay. So from what I'm understanding is that a guy can't be friends with a girl because he will always look at her in some kind of sexual manner.
What I'm saying is that it's not that you can't be friends. You can be friends, but I also feel that there will be an underlining attraction or a thought that crosses. Yes, a thought that will cross either person's mind, and I'm not just saying the guy, either person's mind that I would fuck him, I would fuck her, and if they pressed on a little bit more, it could turn into something totally wrong.
I think in general you can have that with anyone though. Like you can have that kind of possibility with anyone.
Yeah, I think now, yeah, because everything is just a little bit more fluid. It's like whatever goes. Like, yeah. But when it's two people, like a man and a woman, even if you guys decided you're going to be friends, it's just that one possibility of like one person's thinking it, and maybe if I just touch on your shoulder and laugh like this, they touch you, maybe squeeze your boobs a little bit.
Oh, God.
No,
That's
no.
mad
know?
random.
No.
Hey,
No.
That's too much.
okay, maybe you just laugh and you lean in and you're like, and then you grab
No, I
his
think
shoulder.
I think most men at that moment be like, she wants to fuck.
Exactly. And then
Like,
it
what's going
crosses
on?
your mind. You can't tell me that for the time that you guys were friends, it never crossed your mind.
Well,
to
one thing, okay,
think
one
about
thing
the
I will
person in
say,
that way, or
one-
something would have popped off.
One thing I do want to say. If a guy is single, it's different
Mm-hmm.
than if a guy is married.
I
Now,
don't think
Or
it's
not
much
even married,
different.
I would say in a
married,
relationship.
happily in a relationship,
Mhm.
happily married,
For me,
whatever.
he's not thinking nasty.
But he can think as long as he's not acting on it.
Right. So the reason I say it's different is because a single guy, he's never turning down pussy
Right.
in
I agree.
any situation. It don't matter what the hell is going on. So
Mhm.
a girl doing that, like, and putting her hands, automatically he's thinking about, I'm gonna get some pussy tonight, and he's gonna start working to that. Now a married man might just say, might do the same thing, and might take the hand and be like, and take it
No,
off.
he
Like,
won't.
what
No,
you
he
doing?
won't, because it's too much macho pride. He ain't gonna take her hand off his shoulder.
He might,
and be
because
like, "Girl."
if he looks at the, across the room, you might be staring at him like, "What you doing?" So he gotta play it off like, "Okay, I gotta
She gonna be
salvage
like-
this.
She
I
gonna
gotta
be like,
salvage this.
really?
I gotta get up. I gotta go across the room. I gotta go kiss my woman, making sure that she knows that our shit was me."
But it's just so funny that you had to mention that he's gonna do it because of the fact that he knows his woman is looking at him across.
Okay, married men,
the room.
men who are in relationships, men who are in love, men who want to be with their woman, the last thing they fucking want to do is get their woman angry.
Mm.
But again, I find it so funny that you have to say the last thing you want to do is get your woman angry. It's not something you yourself feel is inappropriate. She shouldn't fucking touch me like that. And just say to her, I don't play that way.
It's not like she
Don't touch
hurt
me.
me by doing that. Like, it's one thing if she just punched me in my face, and I'm gonna tell her straight up like, okay, that kind of hurt. You need to back the fuck off.
No, but her simply just, so if a guy came to me and did like this on my shoulder, I'd be like, don't touch me there.
But see, men and women think different.
Okay.
So I don't think, there's really no comparison there, I don't think.
So why would my reaction to the guy touching me
So
on
is it
my
different?
shoulder?
Would it be a difference if she touched him or just punched him? Is that a difference?
I mean, I was still looking at it like, why is she punching you? She's a little bit too friendly. Tell her to back up.
You see,
Go over there. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't be.
this is why I can't have friends.
Don't. No. No new friends. That's what Drake said. You don't need no new friends. You have me.
She got the crazy look on her face.
Mm.
But have you had any?
So okay, there's the sexual content of it.
Okay.
There's what else is there involved that a man and woman can or
Other than
cannot be
that,
friends?
other than that, that's
That's the biggest
big
one.
thing for me that I feel that
What about
it's always crossing one person's mind, and so it can practically lead
what
to
about commonality? Things to talk about, things to.
that. It would still
like-
make me feel uncomfortable. Like if you had a friend that was a girl and you guys had a commonality between video games or something, or you guys geeked over stuff like that, I'd be like, okay.
Oh.
Let's
She's
have
sweeping.
I'm doing
she's
a
sweeping
fan
the air.
movement with my
She's sweeping
hand,
the
like
air.
just let's keep it 10 centimeters apart. No, 10 inches apart as you talk about this. As you guys are
And we're geeking out. It's
fangirling.
not like we're like hugging each other and like.
It's too
we're
much.
geeking out.
But think about it, okay? So she likes this and he likes that, and they're establishing this relationship where they both like stuff and have this commonality, and sooner or later it's
How
like,
does that equal fucking in relationship though? How does that transfer over?
see me, I don't think right in the moment. I think far
What can
ahead.
be.
What can happen? What can go wrong? So if you guys are enjoying, I mean, that's how a relationship starts, right? You meet somebody who's a stranger. You get to know one another. You guys start talking about things you both like and both share. And that's what draws us to each other, because you like to watch this and I like to watch it. And we have something we can discuss. There's a small attraction there just by that little detail. And from that, it turns into, oh, let's go to this show together. And then you're spending time. And then it's just like, let's not even
Well,
go
I
there.
mean,
Where's the trust?
Fuck the trust. The trust is in my asshole. That's where it's at. No, but I hate. So we had spoke about this previously. I think in the episode we just released, about the trust thing. It's not a matter of saying I don't trust you. I don't care about all that. I'm just thinking about what can go wrong, what can possibly pop off between these two people. I don't want even the chance of her laughing, getting too close, and her hand just fall on your crotch by accident. What? Yes, by accident. Or y'all having drinks and you're hanging out.
Hold on, wait.
I
think that it's the responsibility to both people. That
I hear that.
If it gets to that point where you've had you got to take a step back, like, okay, this is getting uncomfortable. Now, if the man doesn't, it continues, or if the woman is in a relationship, she continues, at that point, then yes, the relationship is no longer appropriate.
Right.
But you got to let it give a chance to even become that a possibility. Because
what a chance. Why do I even want to give it a chance where something can come to fruition and give you a chance to be like, nah, I don't want to continue with this anymore? No. We don't have to play around and then it has to be said. We need to establish that right off the bat that it's not going to go there. Ever.
That's not what you're saying, though. That's not what you're saying. You're saying that a man can never even be in the same room with another woman because essentially she might make the mistake and just accidentally touch his dick. Like that's where you're extreme with it.
No, I was saying that it's a possibility.
Like
so it kind of ties in.
The person's hand could be anywhere, but then somehow it's just gonna land on his dick.
The two can tie in, right? Because
and if he has sweatpants, his imprint's gonna be on the leg, and somehow it's gonna be like, oh, I just gotta touch it to see if it's real.
I mean, especially if she's single, and
I think that's it. The rules are like they fly out the moment they're single. Like, hey, it's possible. The possibility is endless.
But I mean, like, if the woman is single or taken, and the friend is the opposite.
So I think we should then go to that then.
Okay.
Because let's say the scenario where married husband, married woman. But then the third party is a single woman. That's dangerous.
So is it 3 friends or it's just
so okay? So the friends,
yeah,
is the single person,
yeah,
right?
So the single female with a couple.
Okay.
So let's assume that Lola is single. And we were having a dinner party and everything, and you know that she was getting a little giggly,
right?
And her hand happened to land on my dick.
No, see, that's what I drew.
Because somehow, but this is how Rose's scenario always ends up.
Right.
Somehow the hand always gets on the dick.
No, I was just saying that if you and your friend went out and you guys were having drinks and, you're hanging out and you're talking about whatever, and then she's laughing and then she's just getting a little bit too close and then the hand just falls on your lap. And it's just like, thud, right on your lap. But I
think it would be my responsibility to say, man, hey,
he said, hey, mate.
Damn.
To say to take her hand off of my lap and be like, hey, I think you had a little too much to drink.
How often does that happen?
I think all the time. I think all the time. I think more times than you guys give guys credit for.
Excuse me, say what? I don't think. I think in your perfect world or in your scenario, you think that's what's gonna happen. I don't think so, and maybe because I think the worst in people.
I mean, this is what I would do.
But will you do that immediately, or would you wait until it gets to the point where the hand is going a little bit 2 inches away from the dick?
I think the difference is that so I think the difference is between so a male is never in danger of being raped, and this is the honesty. So we're never intimidated by a female putting their hands on me because we don't feel threatened in any point of view.
But it's not even about being threatened. It's just about what's appropriate.
Hold on. However, a female, whenever a man's hands gets on your body, it's on the automatically threatened. Automatically. It doesn't matter if it's in your hand. It doesn't matter if it's in your shoulder, your back, your thigh, your ass. It could be your big toe. The moment I put my hands on you, it's threatening. And it can be also always sexual in nature. So for us men, when a woman puts their hand on us, we always have to evaluate. Was this sexual? Was this not sexual? What's going on? What's the scenario? Is she drunk? Is she not drunk? Was this a joke? What's going on? And in that calculating, it takes us a little bit because we're also slow. So it takes us a little bit to load up.
Somebody said it.
It takes us a little bit to be like, okay, what's going on here? This is the third time she did it. She's drunk. She keeps looking at me. She keeps leaning on me. Oh, this is what's going on.
Yeah, and then it gets to that point where it's like an hour in, all this touching, and then she's just like, I thought you wanted it because you let me touch you a lot of times. Before you're actually removing yourself from the situation and it not getting to those inappropriate boundaries there. That's what I'm talking about. And I don't see why, if you have your significant other at home and you go out with this other person, you're doing the same things you would probably do when you're out with your mate. So it's the same kind of practice going on. How can I not think the worst?
You assume you do that stuff with your mate, though.
Where we go out to eat, we're drinking, we're talking, we're joking around, we're having conversation.
Again,
it's the same thing you're doing when you're going out with your coworkers.
You're assuming people do that with their mates. Not everyone not everyone who has a relationship have good conversation. They don't have.
I'm not even talking about just having a good conversation. I just mean the act of going out. If you're going out to go hang out with your friend, this person who you're saying is just your friend. Your friend. So is there a difference then?
Yes.
You will only go out if it's friends, but not just you and the other female?
No. I think that's what I draw the line.
Okay.
I don't think a man should ever, regardless.
I mean, going out with the friends could just be code.
Unless you're both single, there's no reason why you should ever go on a single. That's considered a date. You go out with your friend.
So what if it's that friend
that's a date?
That you guys are closer than everybody else in the group, but everybody went out together. It still wouldn't be a date?
No, I don't think so.
Because that's the person who you're going to interact with more. You're going to be drawn to more.
That's not fair to say because whenever you go out with...
It's very fair.
It's whenever people go out on group dates where it's like 10 people, it always gets segmented to different groups. Mm-hmm. It always segments. It'd be like
so I don't see why there would be much of a difference.
It'll be like 3 people having a conversation. It'll be the rest be having a conversation. And throughout the night, they start swapping. Like people start changing groups. There'd be 4 clusters over here, then 5 over here.
But I feel like if you click with one person, then most likely throughout the night or whatever, that's who you're going to be with by your side, engaging with. So whether it's single or a group of people, I think it can garner the same results.
Okay, I think we're talking too much right now.
Why?
Because we haven't heard anything from Lola in the past. Like
Lola has been giggling and cracking up the whole time.
But I want to know what she thinks.
Okay, well, initially you said you don't feel the same way I felt. That you do think men and women can be friends.
Right. So I had, and I'm gonna say had.
Yes.
I had a friend. We were just friends. He was married. I knew his wife. I was there when she gave birth. So, and I spoke to her, all the time. Probably more than to him that I did, So I spoke to her more to her than I did to him. So she knew when we were hanging out after work or he was coming.
Did y'all work together?
We did.
Okay.
So he knew she knew if he was coming to my house too. So even if I thought that she knew, I was still calling her to let her know. Because, those are boundaries. And, what would I look like, if she thought otherwise?
Right.
So I was single at the time. So he came over. Let's see.
I'm not judging. I'm just...
No, but we was really... in my mind, I thought we were friends. So I'll tell the story.
Was he attractive?
Was he attractive? Wasn't my cup of tea. I'll say that. So not somebody I would be attracted to.
Okay.
But, he was cool.
So what made you befriend?
We had a lot in common. I
Okay.
mean, we did the same, work. We love kids. I mean, and we went out as a group as well. Me, him, and his wife. So
So
it's
you
like,
named
This was
two
a
things.
swingers thing, or
No.
You named two things that you had in common. You said a lot of things. But
I
you
mean,
said
she
two
doesn't
things.
have to go into details
I'm
of
just
all the
curious.
things,
we had
but
a
just
lot in common.
right,
I mean,
whatever it is, whatever.
but there was no attraction at
Okay.
all.
Which is never is for females.
That's not true.
Okay.
But yeah,
Two against
so
one.
there was no attraction for me. So he came over whenever he wanted. We hung out, or whatever. So I happened to I met this guy. So of course he knew, because that's my friend. So I'm gonna tell my friend
Right.
that I met this guy. So the guy now that I met, we're just hanging out. So I meet him, and now from that weekend that I met him, we hung out every weekend.
Right.
So now the guy is upset because, you can't just pop up to my house whenever you want now.
The friend.
The friend.
Yeah.
I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm seeing someone. Oh, that went left. I was like, but why are you upset? Oh, you acting brand new because you got a fucking man out. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here?
And what are you supposed to think in that moment?
But see, in my mind, never did I feel like he was attractive. He never crossed lines. There was never no whole handing, no kissing. It was never that. There was never no where I would think, hey, maybe he's attracted. I never thought that. Because if I did, I would have had to dead it then.
Do you think it was a matter of you never looking at him like that you just put blinders on to what he was doing?
No,
'Cause
because
was there
it was never
no indicators from his side that would say, I want to, kind of being possessive of you, that all of a sudden now when someone else comes into the picture, it changed up.
Well, that's what made me start thinking differently. And I'm like, but where's all of this coming from?
Mm-hmm. It was always there.
Right, but I never seen it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, well, what is the problem? He was like, oh, you don't never have time for me. And I'm like, but that's not true, because we still hang out. You just can't come whenever you feel like it.
Right.
Anymore. So I'll fast forward.
Did he have a key?
Hell to the no.
I mean, he comes
Before?
over without
No,
unannounced. Like,
absolutely not. He would never have a key to my house. So fast forward to he winds up getting another job and he leaves. We kind of lost contact because I was like, something's not right. So I kind of like make myself unavailable. So then I'm getting phone calls from the wife like, hey, what's going on? Like, you don't never come around no more. And I'm like, I didn't want to tell her why I wasn't coming around. I was just like, well, I'm busy, da 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 da.
I got a man.
But she called me one day and she was like, well, listen, I'm having a surprise party for my husband. I want you to come. So I'm like, can I bring a +1? Of course I bring the +1. And I guess now that I look at it or look back at it, and I'm like, he was acting real funny. So I'm like, okay, that's not going to happen again. But they didn't catch wind of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay.
What the hell was he
I
doing?
kind of dodged that one.
How the fuck?
We're never going to go in that situation again. So I wound up getting another job. And he called me. And it was just like, now the conversation is like, oh, when can I come to your house? And it's like, nah. Like, he lives with me now. So you just can't come over. So he's like, oh, now you're not now you're not allowed to have male friends. And I'm like, I can have male friends, but you're not acting like a male friend now. You're acting stalker-ish.
You see?
So he's like, oh, now you're trying to play me. So he's like, now you're trying to play
he had
me.
Intentions.
Apparently,
This is
but
what I'm
I never seen it, because for me, if I would have seen it, if I would have noticed it, I wouldn't have let it get any further than what it was. 1, you have a wife. 2, I have respect for her. So I can't do that.
Yeah, with the
Because I don't want you to think
acrimonious
something.
behaviors. Inside joke.
Exactly. So for me as a woman, I couldn't do it.
Right.
So I want to believe in my job, and I put him on the block list. So I'm sure when he calls, he doesn't know that I'm not gonna answer. So
Are you still talk to the wife though?
I'm gonna get to that.
Oh,
So
jeez.
I'm at work sitting at my desk, and I get a call from the front desk. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? Oh, I got a call. I'm transferring a call to you. So I'm like, okay. And the number pops up on the screen, and I'm saying,
no.
I know this number from somewhere, but it was no name. But I'm like,
my God.
this number looks familiar. But I'm thinking, oh, maybe a housing provider, whatever. Let me pick up. Whatever. I'm not even gonna say the company name. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm outside your job. Can you come outside? And I'm like,
Like
what?
cops.
Like, what?
Excuse me, say what?
He's like, I'm outside your job. Can you come outside?
no.
So I'm like,
At that point, do you recognize the voice? Like,
yes. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to make a scene at my job because they're going to be like, what is going on here?
Right.
So I said, let me just go outside, but I'm going to stay within camera view
Right.
in case something happens. So he's like, oh, you want to come with me to the corner? And I'm like, no. Look, the camera don't reach that far. I was like, we can stand right here.
Go end up on the 6 o'clock news.
Girl. He was like, I said, so what the hell is going on? He was like, oh, you blocked me. I've been calling you. And I'm like, okay, now
you, bitch.
Now you flipping
me. What's going on? I'm in your face now. He can't touch.
He just flipped out, and I'm just looking at him like, you can't be serious. Like, this is not happening for real. Like, what's going on? He was like, I had to search you up in the database to even find out where you work at. I'm like, that's creepy. I said, you have a whole wife. But you're
a
looking.
whole wife, not a half wife.
A
Not a
whole
quarter.
wife.
A hold one.
A whole wife. Then you looking me up in the database and coming to my job, and like, that's crazy. I was like we can't do this no more. So I'm kind of contemplating, like, do I tell Babe what's going on?
Right.
But then I'm like, that can go all the way left.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna leave
He might be
him
all the
out
way
of
crazy
it.
too.
Babe is all the way crazy. So I'm like, let me not even do that.
Did
So-
you ever tell the wife? Oh,
I wind
okay.
up seeing, so he says to me, he was like, well, you knew me and my wife was having issues. And I'm like, why the hell would I know that? That was never a conversation. I've spoken to your wife. I've never heard that before. He was like, yeah, whatever, you knew. And I'm like, no, I didn't. But I'm saying to myself, so I kind of rewind. One night, me and Babe was out, and I seen his wife on a date with a female.
Ow.
So it was one of those, I know who
Licking.
you are, don't speak to me kind of thing. And I was like, okay, like, no problem.
That's what she did?
Yeah, it was like,
Oh my
you know,
God.
you see somebody and be like, oh,
What
shit,
if it
I
was
know
a
you.
friend?
It wasn't
her friend.
They were holding hands, and it
Chicks hold
wasn't.
hands.
I know, but she's a grown ass woman holding another grown ass woman hand.
They was together.
They was together. So, and if that was your friend, then why wouldn't you speak to me? So it was just
Maybe
like,
she don't want to share a friend.
it's fine. You don't have to. I have my bae. I don't want to share him either. Like, go on, girl. So she was like, it was like, oh shit. Like, don't speak to me. So I'm like, okay,
Pretend I don't know
whatever.
you. I don't know her.
Yeah, like, all right, I won't speak to you. So I guess she must have said something to him, thinking that I would have said something to him.
See?
So he was like, yeah, because I know you saw my wife. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He was like, well, we not together no more. She left me for a woman, and she left her son. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
Oh,
wow.
shit.
Like, damn.
So come
that's
on, you coming
rough.
for along for this ride or what?
Nah,
You ready to go?
I'm good.
Meet me around the corner.
So I just thought, I was just glad that I left that job. I was like, oh, I hope he don't find me again.
Just
I was
might.
like, you just,
He gonna look you up in the next database.
I hope not. Because then I would definitely call 911 because I'm like, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have to get Bae involved. And we got to
We
get
don't
that
want
bail
that.
money up.
At least that, at least he took that no as a like. He went too far, obviously, but at least after
And that was her
introduction-
friend. Her
Like,
good,
that was
good
my friend. And I'm kind of sad
See,
because
but I think you're guilty though, of not seeing the signs. I think part of it was like you was a little blinded
But why?
Because she
because
just
a
didn't
guy
look at
showing
him
up
like that.
listen,
But he wasn't doing all of that
no,
before.
A person, any person, doesn't matter if a guy, girl, what, any person showing up any time of the day at your house, that's suspicious.
I mean, but it's not like you're coming at like 10 o'clock at night or
Look,
3
if
in the
my
morning,
best friend
you
right
know?
now just comes in right here, I'm looking at him sideways like, what are you doing?
No,
here?
you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would. Because
I mean,
my
if he
friend,
came
my
and it
friend
was just
doesn't-
me here, knowing you wasn't home,
he
that would
do
be a
some shit
different.
like that, just
That
to
would
fuck with me,
be,
though.
but that would be suspicious too.
He would
But
do
that
some
would
shit
be
like
weird.
that, then send me a picture like, "What up, son? I'm at home."
And then I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna have to kill you when I see you. Like, who does
Like,
that?
you know what's funny is that we joke like that, but we know that there's no boundaries to be crossed.
So my best friend, right? He'll come here with his wife, and he'll leave his wife here, and we'll be talking, and he'll go in the room with my wife, and he'll purposely look behind me and just close the door,
Well,
and
see,
he'll
that's
do it because he wants to fuck with me,
right.
Because I don't ever do something like that with his wife, but he would do it because he knows it ticks me off that he's doing it,
But
but
he'll never do that because that would just.
yeah, she would just kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so weird, and I don't know, maybe because we knew him longer, and I don't know, you kind of just establish that kind of a bond with people, like you feel like it's brotherly love or whatever. But now that you think about it, it's like I expect you not to get mad when he does stuff like that, but I would get mad
If he
if
did
you
it.
did something to like that to his wife.
If I stare too long at his wife, it's like a problem.
well, you can't stare at strangers apparently.
Yes,
so,
you can't even stare at the sky.
Just
like
don't
if it's
do
a,
it.
if it's a
don't
cloud
even
that
look
looks
at
like a
me.
butt,
Okay? Don't.
if it's a sky that looks like a butt, it's like, what are you looking at?
Why you
are
looking
Wow,
at
look
it
at
so
the
long?
clouds. It looks like an ass. Why are you looking at it?
No, but this is what I'm saying. Like in your
just
scenario was real crazy, and I don't know how many times that happened. I know there's people who have friends of the opposite sex. Facts. Or if you are gay or lesbian and you have someone who's the same sex that's your friend that your mate might have an issue with, I know that happens. But at the same time, it's like you do have to establish boundaries and draw lines to say
So
we cannot, this is inappropriate or whatever.
So I want to touch on that. I want to touch on that.
Touch it.
Gay friend.
Gay.
So let's assume that now he is of the opposite sex, but he's gay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it
okay.
doesn't matter what combination you want to call it. Just he's gay. The person is the opposite sex, but they're gay.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't trust that person.
Why?
I don't trust that person.
Why?
I do not trust that person.
I mean, nowadays, though, you do see a lot of fluidity happening. So you might have a guy who is gay. He's your friend, but he would be willing to try playing with your boobs or even touching your boobs on some playful shit and be like, oh, girl, they so perky. But then still turn around and try to fuck you. I've seen it. I mean, in the movies and shows, you see that happen. And I can only think that they base it off of something. But I'm a little bit more biased when it comes to that. Because it's like, he's gay. Why would you have an issue?
Well, I mean, these days with like once you said like the fluidity, people being, I think, and I might get in trouble by saying this, but being gay is popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like in
Well,
in-
not that it's
in
popular. It's just
social-
that it's becoming more acceptable.
Mhm.
So you'll see a lot of people being free and coming out and putting it out there to let others know I'm happy with whatever it is that I'm into.
Well, the reason why I want to say popular is because people are willing to try it more frequently, even if they're not.
Well,
just,
yeah.
they want to
There's
try it
people
just because they want to
experimenting
be.
as well.
They want to give themselves that label of like, oh, I've done it. I'm bi. I'm gay
Mhm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they want to be part of that clique. So
Clit.
So by that standard, even same sex friends
Right.
who, and women are very prolific with their bodies. So if two women are in a room, they're more likely to show each other's body off than two men are.
Right.
So I'm not gonna bring my dick out in front of my homeboy and be like, yo, what you think about this, bro? We're not gonna do that. But two females will say like they will start adjusting their bra, be like, "Oh, what's your cup size?" What? And then also,
Well,
and
yeah.
next thing you know, you're showing each other boobs. That's fine because that's culturally what happens with two females in the room. But these days, you can't even.
I think you
that
still do it and you still assume or whatever. But if it's you on the other side looking in, you'll say there's a possibility of something going on or something happening, and you wouldn't want that situation. And I think in that case, like I kind of also turn a blind eye because it's just you feel so innocent in that moment. You're just like, well, no, it's
There's
not
a
like
lot of
that.
blind that's going on, but except when it comes to me looking at you.
Well, you're blind because you're like, I wasn't even looking, but you dead ass just turned around and looked.
She'll turn around and be like, you can't see, but somehow you see that, huh?
No, I'm telling you, if I could record it, and that's what I need to do, record it. There's times where he'll look and then say, I didn't look. He didn't even know that he did it.
It's like the word Shaggy.
No,
it wasn't me.
baby,
But she
like
caught
this.
you on camera.
We
It
at the
wasn't me.
light or a stop sign, and he knows she coming, so he gonna turn his head. So he gonna wait for her to
But
pass.
you already seen her because you
I'm
know
like,
she
boo,
coming.
I saw her too.
Exactly. Like, come on.
And I just be looking at him like,
I know you gonna look. I know you gonna.
I'm
look.
waiting for you to turn your head back now. You can turn your head back. And he be like this. I'm like, I saw it. It's okay. Yo, I know he be sweating like this.
Okay. Let's start on
So
again.
what? Why don't you just close your eyes while you at the stop sign and the
Yes.
light?
Just don't look nowhere.
Just
look
ponder.
down.
I'm meditating, babe. I'm meditating.
He,
I
or,
mean,
if I be like, look, man, look at that. He be like, why you want me to look?
Because we just want to be comfortable with you looking. We know you're looking instead of doing the fucking eye jumps and the fucking aerobatics
He be like,
that be
"Are
going
you
on.
setting me up? Is that a setup? Nah, you can look for real.
she winked. She winked.
No, but yeah. So is that no? I was doing your move.
But
So I think we have nothing else to say now. So
what's
if
the
you
ver-
had to
so
put
what's the
a
verdict? What's the
yeah,
verdict?
if
here?
you had
'Cause
to put a yes or a no, can men and women be friends? I say no.
Okay, it depends too if whether you're in a relationship or not.
I think
Because you can know people have
Oh,
that, you know.
So one last thing, couples being friends with couples.
mm-hmm.
Is that different than a guy having a separate friend or?
So I do think that it's different because it's understood that I know, you know, they know, we all know that we're together, you're together. When we see each other, is that we're hanging out with each other. If you're hanging out with the person of the same sex, it's assumed that you guys are friends and you guys are just doing y'all.
So we live in a cul-de-sac, 4 couples,
mm-hmm.
right? And we're all friends, right? At any point, is it okay?
No.
Is it okay?
No.
For me to go over another person's house? Let's say I'm looking for my buddy.
Okay.
Tom. Looking for Tom. But Virginia is by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Tom's car? Y'all live in a cul-de-sac. I'm sure
Exactly.
he has 2 cars.
You better call him before you go walk your cute ass over there and be like, where you at?
So I'm going to Virginia to ask, hey, can I borrow
You're going to
Tom's
Virginia's
tools?
ass?
Can I borrow Tom's tools?
I mean,
Good
you
back.
better call Tom and say, Tom, I
Are
need
you
to
home?
borrow your wrench. Sort that out. And then if he calls his wife and says,
Virginia comes out to
Virginia,
the door in the little,
put it on the
skimpy
thing,
thing.
walk back in the house, and then let him come get it, then that's a different story.
I don't think Tom is going to tell her that. Leave
Tom
it on
might-
the porch and close the door.
Tom
It's-
might tell her, you just tell him where to find it or whatever. I mean, again, as we always say, there's a dialogue that has to happen between one another to say whatever we're comfortable with. If I'm not comfortable with you speaking or meeting or hanging out with this, yes, speaking or meeting or hanging out with this girl and having this bond and whatever.
But it's okay whenever you're being supervised. Like, so you're in the same
I mean, if
room.
we're all together and you know, like, it's possible they're not going to get too friendly. I
Most
would
people-
like to
most
say
times
that
once they
it's
start drinking a little bit,
better.
they're gonna get friendly.
It's better. But you're there, you know what's going on, you're seeing it, and then even if the thought is running across your mind, you know not to act on it because there are many eyes. So there's your partner's eyes, there that person's partner, or everybody
The
else
other
who's
couple's
looking at,
eyes.
who's there, who's gonna see what's going on, and then you might not, it can't stop you from having your thoughts. As
Or
much
just
as I would
putting
like
yourself,
to,
in
Yeah.
certain type of situations.
I can't stop you from having your thoughts of like, ooh, he got a
think it's
nice
safe to
dick
say-
print.
What?
It can't stop you from having thoughts such as, oh,
It's
he
so- you
has
make
a
it
nice
sound so
dick
innocent.
print.
You make that sound so innocent, but somehow me looking at another female's butt, it's terrible to do.
Like I said, can't stop you from having your thoughts. It's inside your head. I don't know what the hell's going on in there, but I can only act on what I see, and then based on what I see, I'm assuming, and I want to say assume what you could be thinking, and then it's never really good. So that's where it goes left, and that's where I have the problem. So if I do see you looking at a girl and she got a fat ass, I'm like, oh, so you don't like this one?
Oh my God.
This is not fat enough for you?
Jesus. I feel bad for you, Manny. Damn
It's
it.
really not that bad. It's not.
No comment. I just want to go around the room and for one last question. At this day and age, I think we had a conversation before we started. We're obviously in a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Are
We're
you single,
in a couple?
Lola?
No.
You're not single, so you're in a
Mm-mm.
committed relationship. Would you say currently you have friends outside of the relationship?
I do.
Okay. How frequently?
Are these friends male or female or opposite sex?
I guess it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So I think in our couple, we don't really have friends outside of the relationship. Is that safe to say?
Oh, like that each person doesn't know. When a person doesn't know that friend or whatever?
I guess. Yeah. I guess you consider that. My understanding is I don't have any friends.
I mean, I don't
It sounds terrible. I don't have any friends
You
outside
have
of a
no
relationship.
friends. Damn, Manny. You got no friends.
You're not allowed to have friends.
And I think anyone I do meet is met mutually through our relationship. Like, so they get introduced.
Except
to
at work,
somebody.
maybe.
I don't consider those friends. I just don't. I don't consider those friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're associated. It's like there's different layers to it, and that's a whole different conversation. But friends, I think people who are actually have some kind of contribute to my life.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you're an associate. You're someone I speak to. We
You're
chop
not
it up.
hanging out.
Yeah,
or,
we chop it up, and that's about it.
Mhm.
I think that's all we have to say.
He lost his thought.
I did. I really did. No, I just wanted to clarify that whether or not everyone in this room right now, do they currently have friends that are either single and are not part of the relationship. So for you, Lola, do you have any friends that he doesn't know of?
One.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
But you say it like it's a bad thing. Like you
I don't
already know.
It sounds bad.
It's
I
a
know.
friend.
Well, only
He
because
doesn't
he
know
doesn't
about this
even
one
live. He
friend.
doesn't live in New York. Him and his wife, they moved to Philly, so they
So
come down.
the guy is
every-
the friend.
Yes.
Okay.
So they come down, but then he's always doing an event or he's not around. So, but he knows
Okay.
of him. They just never
Matt.
met.
Okay. I don't have any friends you don't know.
I don't got no friends you don't know. I don't got friends.
Yeah.
I wonder why. You think everyone wants
It's
to?
not petty though.
Okay.
Okay. So what was the point of that?
I have no idea.
You just want to single out who don't have
No,
friends?
clearly we don't have friends, right?
Lola's popular.
I was
Great.
hoping. I was trying to hold like maybe she felt as lonely as we did. Like you can start holding hands as a triangle. Like we're friends. Thank you for joining us, Lola. It's been a lovely conversation.
So, but wait, what
What?
was the point
What?
of that? It was just
I don't
to
know.
say we
Maybe
don't
I
got no
didn't-
friends.
Maybe.
Were you trying to allude to something? Was it?
Well, I'm trying to say that
It's
I
lonely on
wonder-
the other side.
I wonder. no.
know.
I wanted to know. I wonder, and this is probably more from our listeners. if it naturally happens when you start getting into a serious relationship, you have to cut off your friends, because at that point it starts to make a conflict
Yeah.
of your relationship, and eventually you get to this point where you do not have friends outside of your relationship.
Right.
Because
I mean, we talked about this
Right,
in
yeah.
Social Butterfly Part 1 and 2. Maybe.
right. I mean, the whole thing is about that.
Yeah, where it was, just alluded to the fact that once you're in a committed relationship, even your friends before, they might not come along with the package because it's a different lifestyle you're living now. You're talking about being committed and doing all those things as a couple.
I mean, look what happened when Lola got a
exactly.
Got a
Then you're
boo
gonna
thing.
have somebody
Listen.
popping out outside your job, finding you in a database.
Why you blocked me?
Talking about, what's up? I'm here. Let's go.
And it's funny because when I told my friend from Philly what happened, he was like, "Are you serious? I always knew he was crazy." I was like, "Well, damn, you could
You were
have
telling me.
warned me." She said, "You see, I stayed away." I was like, "Dude,
Damn.
like,
Was
where's
that a
the
female or male?
It was a male.
Oh shit. Okay.
I told you he was crazy. I was
knew.
like,
He knew there was something.
"You
He
could
knew
have
what's going
warned
on.
me."
He was like, I'll let you find out for yourself. But it's just a different dynamic that occurs, that when you're with somebody, you have to find friends that are similar to you and your partner, because there's a level of understanding that's different. Unless, people can be responsible and understand that she or he is now in a relationship and that's going to look different for the things we used to do and what we like to do together. And understanding to give them the space to do that. Some people don't and take it too far, like your friend. And
I'm looking confused right now. What?
yeah, okay. Some people don't know how to separate that, and that's when it becomes an issue. So because of those little issues, it can't continue to go on. The friendship don't last, simply.
I mean, you have to prioritize.
Right.
Is that friendship more valuable to you than the potential relationship that you have with your mate? And you have to make a decision. At a certain point,
But
you have to make a decision.
that's just saying
as
if
to,
they're
I'd rather be homeboys with this guy or this girl than have a happy relationship with my woman.
right.
Because at the end of the day, if you go home every day, you arguing with your woman because you friends with this person, it's not going to work. It's just, I mean.
So let me also ask this question. What if your mate said to you, what if your mate said to you, I don't like this person, you need to block them. And this was your good friend, for how many years, whatever. Good friend, but your mate says, I don't like this person, you need to block them. Would you block them?
I don't know. I've never been in that situation, so I really can't answer.
You don't have to be in it to answer, but
Yeah,
what
I
would you do if you had a scenario like that?
Because it depends on who the friend is, what really
Your
happened.
really
that I
good
have to-
friend.
Okay, but what happened that I have to block them?
He just don't like him or her, and he's like,
See,
You need to block
you
them.
That sounds
Tell
familiar.
me what to do.
excuse me,
Oh shit, man. I think
you in trouble
again.
now. No, it's your really good friend, and for whatever reason, you guys were very cool. You hung out together, whatever. For whatever reason, they rubbed your mate the wrong way.
But why?
I'm just thinking something else.
Jesus.
I'm thinking something else, but they rubbed them the wrong way.
This is a whole nother segment. What are you doing? Oh my god.
Okay.
They
so
rubbed.
Stop saying it.
I
Just
should
move
stop
on.
saying that. They did something that pissed them off. They just don't like them. You ever find somebody that you don't like? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So they just don't like them. And they asked you, please block this person. Cut them off. Would you be able to do
I
it?
think that's a bit selfish in general.
Yeah.
It's a bit selfish.
I
Just
agree.
because you don't like them don't mean that you should impose that kind of thing on your mate. Now, unless you have a really good reason,
Right. It has
Unless
to
you have
be
a really good
valid.
reason,
Like, what's
yeah.
the reason?
like
I mean, I would hope that if the person is asking you to do it, it's a decent reason.
I mean,
But it has
Let's
to be
explain
a
to you.
reason. What's the reason? Like there was a
I don't even want to
disrespect.
put. I don't
or
even
you don't
want to
wanna put it out there.
No, well, it's nothing that happened here. I'm just saying the scenario.
it sounds familiar.
Oh man.
Does it?
Ooh, look at the time.
I'm just saying it does sound familiar.
No, it's just whatever they did, they just don't like them. Again, you never had somebody you just don't like. You're not feeling them. They rub you the wrong way.
I'm about to turn this off.
No, they rub you the wrong way, and you just don't like them. Whatever it is they did.
She already said. Lola already said no.
So you're just like, no, you can't tell me what to do, and you said it's selfish.
I think it to a certain level it's selfish unless you have a really valid reason as to
Right.
something happened.
Well, I'm gonna be the one to say that I would.
You would what?
That's nice.
I would cut the person off.
Mm-mm.
I would distance myself from the person if that's what my mate is asking me to do. I would distance myself from the person.
You a
Out
damn
of
liar. You a damn liar. Because I will sit on this mic. I will go officially on mic to say that you still haven't stopped talking to that one motherfucker that I don't like. And I'm gonna end this right here because this was episode. Which one was it? Episode what? 12?
12.
12. Can men and women be friends? We don't have a definitive answer to this.
I have one. I said no. They can't.
We don't have definitive answers. Out of 3 people, only one of them agreed to no. One said maybe. The other one said
I say yes. There just has to be, establish some boundaries.
Boundaries.
Absolutely.
Thank
I
you
mean,
for
that's
listening.
That's a politically correct
It's
answer.
a balance. It's
way
a nice
to
balance.
say it. Yes.
One says
But
no,
I
one
would
says
just
no.
say no, period. Because it always just seems like it'll go left. But because of the potential that it can go left, I'm just going to say no.
What if he leans right?
No, it's a lefty.
Um,
This has been another episode of Flatulent Thoughts. Thank you for listening. Please continue to do so on our website, www.flatulentthoughts.com. I didn't say that many W's this time. Apple Podcasts, iTunes.
it's the same thing.
Yes, it is.
Stitcher, Google
Stitcher,
Play,
Google, that other
YouTube.
thing that we don't even know how it got on there.
Castbox.
Castbox.
Yeah.
YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff too.
Thanks once again to our guest, Miss Lola.
Hope.
I hope you come back to us again and hear us argue for an hour.
That was entertaining, I must say.
We value your opinion and your story. It was very, very interesting.
Insightful. Yes.
And
we're out. Bye.
for the last task in our August giveaway is just simply to do the other 3. That's it. Just do the other 3. Listen to episode 9, 10, and 11 for instructions, and make sure to complete it before September 6th. That is when the contest ends.